Hello and welcome to my update. Today I'm going to share with you what my experience has been 24 hours, 36, 48 and now 66 hours into my planned 72-hour fast. Thank you for watching and thank you for coming back to my channel, Health and Wellness with Emma Mentel. And I'm really excited to share this update with you, my journey with this particular fast. For those of you who've been following me for some time, you'll know that I've made several videos with my long fasts to share with you what my experience is. And even though each fast can be so different, there's also a lot of similarity, and one gets to learn a lot about your body's responses along the way. So I'm going to share with you some of my fasting hacks, the kinds of things that I use to make the process easier, and then just some of the points in the timeline where I feel particular things. So firstly, the following products I've been using as part of my fast, either initially or throughout, and I find that it has really made things easier, helped with my energy levels, and also just supported the fasting process. The first product, and depending on where you are in the world, I'm using the Trace Mineral Drops. There are different versions of this, and I use this every day anyway, but especially in a fast where I'll be avoiding eating foods. Also where I am in South Africa, it's really hot in summer and there's a lot of perspiration, so I find that the Trace Mineral Drops makes my fast much easier when I feel a little slump in energy, or maybe a little bit of sort of brain fatigue or muscle fatigue. Even though it's very unusual for me, this will just lift that instantly. The other product that's been part of my fasting journey has been apple cider vinegar. At the moment, I'm using Bragg's raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar, but it's not the only product that I use. I will look for any unfiltered, organic, preferably apple cider vinegar that, you know, is not clear, which means it's unfiltered. In winter, you can use that as a tea, about a tablespoon in a cup or mug of hot water. In summer, like where I am, I use that either in filtered water, but room temperature, or I use it with sparkling or soda water, very refreshing. And I find that this really helps with hunger, and it certainly has been one of my great fasting companions. On day one of my longer fast, I usually use a little bit of MCT oil once or twice during the day in a coffee. I drink coffee on my fasts, and I do add a little bit of cream. I find that it doesn't break my fast, it doesn't prevent ketosis, it doesn't raise my blood sugar. So I have 1 cup of caffeinated coffee and then maybe 1 cup of a decaf filtered coffee during the day. And then another product that I have been using throughout, but also in my fasts, is Inulin. This is the brand that I'm using currently, and this is a kind of a prebiotic fiber, and I add that to my coffee as well. It gives it a very slight sweet taste, but the fiber really helps with the feeling of fullness and stabilizing blood sugar. So those are my hacks. Now let's look at the timeline. So Sunday, late afternoon, early evening, I had my last meal. I focused on clean eating on Sunday, and so by Monday afternoon, today is Wednesday, I was 24 hours into my fast. Typically around 20 to 24 hours is where I really experience quite a big wave of hunger. The body really realizes that now no food is coming in. But for me, what has been an interesting observation over the years of fasting is that the wave of hunger doesn't last very long and it doesn't intensify. So it's something that comes and goes. I think of it like the waves of the ocean or the tides. It comes and then it goes. And the longer I continue with my fast, the less frequent these waves of hunger are and the less noticeable they become. So I have to get my mind around the 24-hour mark and be very clear about my intentions. And that's when I would drink the apple cider vinegar, maybe another glass of water with the minerals in. When I wake up the next morning, so around 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning, that was yesterday, it was about 36 hours into my fast. I did about an hour-long moderate pace walk. I didn't feel tired at all, but my first drink in the morning as I woke up was a glass of water with my minerals in it. And then after my walk, I had my coffee with a bit of cream and inulin. The rest of my day yesterday had very little hunger. From about lunchtime, I noticed ketosis, strong taste in my mouth, the hunger almost disappearing completely, my brain feeling quite clear, quite focused, my energy was good. I had another big wave of hunger late afternoon yesterday, and that's again where I would go back to the apple cider vinegar and just leaning into that hunger, not resisting it, not questioning it. For those people who really struggle to continue, they can have about a third cup of bone broth, homemade bone broth or store-bought bone broth. Maybe a little bit of nut butter, I would say a tablespoon or so. The fat doesn't typically break the fast, but it just feels like something that you can eat. Maybe half a medium avo, if you feel like you just need to eat something or that psychologically you need to chew. And if that's going to help you to continue with your fast, then by all means. Of course, what I do from around the 36-hour mark is that I check my blood sugar. I typically measure 3 times a day just to get an idea. And when I tested earlier, my blood glucose was on 5 millimole per liter. Yesterday, late afternoon, it was about 4.7, so really healthy. I think what raised it for this reading was that I had coffee earlier, and that can typically raise the blood sugar a little bit, but it is not uncommon for blood sugar to go up by a few points into a fast, which indicates that the body goes to search for any stored glycogen or glucose and mobilizes that. So it doesn't discourage me, it doesn't surprise me. In fact, I'm very happy with this reading, and I know by this evening it would have probably gone back down into the 4s. So by last night, 48 hours, I initially thought I would break my fast at 48 hours, but I haven't done a longer fast for a while, and I really felt like a nice reset, a good immune system reset, a good gut reset. Gut reset happens at 24 hours, serotonin reset at 24 hours, and then by 36 hours, typically we go into our fat stores to mobilize stored fat for energy. By 48 hours, we also then have a nice dopamine boost. So typically when I wake up the morning after the 48 hours, so that was this morning, I really feel positive, I feel uplifted. One can even feel euphoric with the ketosis. So I'm still feeling strong. I might have avo this evening. I might make a bone broth later, or I might just have a very light meal, but I try to avoid raw foods and like salads or heavy meats. For example, I wouldn't have something like a steak after 72 hours. Remember now, there's a brand new gut lining. You haven't really eaten anything solid. And the 72-hour fast is definitely a more advanced fast. It's not something, unless you are familiar with fasting and have really cleaned up your diet, that I would recommend to someone without supervision or support. But it's definitely something that for me has become a part of my life and something I would incorporate every few months. How long or how often would you do the longer fasts? That really depends on your blood sugar management, on your level of insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. Of course, if you're carrying a lot of weight. So the more of these factors that you have that make you metabolically unhealthy, the more often you should be incorporating the shorter and the longer fast, and continue with those until all these conditions resolve. So this is my journey of a 72-hour fast, about 66 hours in now, and I will update you again tomorrow to let you know where I got to and how I felt. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please comment, please ask questions, and please share this video with anyone that you feel might benefit from my fasting journey update.